We now know that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris will be our president and vice president for the next 4 years. But there's a deep divide in our country. 70 million Americans voted for Donald Trump. 74 million Americans voted for Joe Biden. There are some who say that if we now go about trying to hold Donald Trump accountable for his crimes, it will just continue to drive people apart. It will deepen the divide in our country. I'm going to suggest that's not necessarily the case. Let's talk about that. Because national unity, like justice, matters. Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here. So now that we know Joe Biden will be our next president, I want to try to tackle two related issues. One, I want to talk about holding Donald Trump accountable for at least some of the crimes he's committed. And I want to talk about the feasibility of doing it while Donald Trump is in the lame duck period, the next 2 months. And the second and related issue I want to take on is, if we do that, if we try to hold Donald Trump accountable for his crimes, will that further deepen the division between the Trump supporters and the people who don't support Donald Trump? And I don't think it necessarily will, but I want to tackle that second. I want to talk about the accountability piece first. And I saw a tweet today after Joe Biden and Kamala Harris were declared the winners, a tweet by my friend Michael Steele. And here's what he said, and it was a little tongue-in-cheek, but Michael tweeted out, SDNY, he's all yours, right? So yes, that was a humorous little jab at Donald Trump, and what I think Michael was conveying is, look, Southern District of New York, U.S. Attorney's Office, prosecutors, Donald Trump is now all yours. Hold him accountable. I am inferring that's kind of what Michael was conveying. But I tell you, that tweet got me to thinking. Donald Trump is now in his lame duck period, right? 2 months. From the time he was voted out until the time he actually has to vacate the White House. We know that there is this horrific memo from the Department of Justice Office of Legal Counsel, OLC, saying, we just don't think it's a good idea, we don't think it's lawful to criminally charge a sitting president of the United States, regardless of what crimes he's committed. Now, I think that's an absurd legal opinion, because if you take that to its natural conclusion, a president could literally kill his opponent in an upcoming election and then could be reelected because he would be running unopposed. And the OLC opinion memo would say, yep, oh well, sorry about your luck, you can't prosecute the sitting president. That's absurd. That's not what our republic is about. It's the opposite of what our republic is about. But Donald Trump has benefited over the past 4 years from that opinion, that memo saying you can't indict a sitting criminal president. That needs to be tested. And the only way to test it is in a court of law. So here's what we could do. And this is why Michael Steele's tweet got me to thinking. SDNY, he's all yours. The Southern District of New York, U.S. Attorney's Office, could indict Donald Trump, and they could do it quickly and easily because the evidence is already in, for the campaign finance crimes he committed with Michael Cohen as part of a conspiracy with Michael Cohen to pay off playmates and porn stars. That crime is easy to prove. Take it from somebody who spent 30 years in courtrooms proving criminal cases. So if they indicted Donald Trump literally in the upcoming days or weeks, then prosecutors would have to walk into court and litigate the wisdom, the legality of the OLC memo saying you can't indict a sitting criminal president. And I predict courts would rule, judges would rule, that's a ridiculous position. Of course the law allows for the indictment of a sitting criminal president. But that's the only way we're ever going to get any precedent, any answer from a court as to whether that OLC memo holds legal water or not. And think about it. If Donald Trump was charged for that crime that is pretty easily and readily provable because you've got Michael Cohen's testimony available, he pled guilty to committing the crime as a co-conspirator with Donald Trump. Remember, Donald Trump, it was called individual number one. No secret, that's Donald Trump. So it's an easy crime to prove. It's readily provable based on the evidence that is already in the possession of the prosecutors at the Southern District of New York U.S. Attorney's Office. So you walk into court, you litigate the issue of whether you can indict a sitting president, and then for all time, all presidents moving forward will know whether they can be indicted in office or not if they commit crimes. And assuming a judge says, of course you can indict a sitting criminal president, then every single president moving forward, including Joe Biden and whoever the next president is, Kamala Harris, they will know that if they commit crimes in office, they can be prosecuted like every other person in the United States. That's something I think we should consider doing. Now, with Bill Barr as the Attorney General, even though he has been completely off-grid for quite a while now, nobody knows where he is. Maybe he's going to be around until the last day of Donald Trump's term. Maybe he's not. We don't know. But it's something that the Southern District of New York, which is fiercely independent, that's why its nickname is the Sovereign District of New York, it's something they should consider doing because it is in the interests of the American people. Talking about being in the interests of the American people, let me transition to how we heal. And you can certainly see people taking the position that, wait a minute, if you go after Donald Trump for crimes he committed, you're going to alienate Donald Trump's supporters. Well, I understand that argument, but here's the thing. Donald Trump committed crimes against the United States of America, against the people of the United States of America. Why do I say that? Well, here's this. This is the only book I put under old Abe Lincoln today, and it is the Federal Criminal Code with all of our federal laws. And believe me, there are a lot of federal laws. These are the laws, these are the statutes that our federal legislators enacted and that a president signed into law that are crimes against the United States. Because if you commit a local crime in violation of state law, that's not a crime against the United States or the people of the United States. It's a local crime. The federal crimes that Donald Trump has committed and many of his criminal associates have committed, I'll just pick one out of thin air. Postmaster General Louis DeJoy, who wrongfully slowed delivery of the mail, and that's a federal crime under 18 United States Code Section 1703. It's a crime to wrongfully slow delivery of the mail. Those are crimes against the United States, against the people of the United States. So those 70 million Trump voters are victims of Donald Trump's federal crimes, because those federal crimes are crimes against the people of the United States. That's the only way they make it into that big blue code book, is if there's federal jurisdiction. They're crimes against the United States. So on the one hand, yes, it might upset some of Donald Trump's 70 million supporters if the machinery of law enforcement in the federal government, the Department of Justice, the FBI, once we have a law-abiding attorney general, begin to go after and hold accountable Donald Trump for his crimes. But we would need to hopefully impress upon Donald Trump supporters that they're victims of his crimes as well, whether they view themselves that way or not. In a very real sense, when Donald Trump commits federal crimes, he commits them against all the people of the United States. You know, I often encountered crime victims who wanted no part of prosecuting in, for example, a domestic violence case or in a sexual assault case. But they were still victims. And even if they became angry with me for continuing to pursue a criminal prosecution against the person that attacked them, assaulted them, abused them, because they wanted no part of it for one reason or another, no part of having to get up on a stand in public and testify against their attacker, against their abuser. We still had to do it because it was the right thing to do for the community, for society, and yes, for the victim, even if the victim didn't necessarily always agree or see it our way. Eventually, they did begin to see it our way. And that is, I think, the lesson we need to take away from not being guided in our prosecutorial decisions by how 70 million Trump voters might react, because they're victims too. We need to do what's right for the country, for the people, and be patient and be thoughtful and try to help people along in their understanding that this is the right thing to do by all of the people, the Trump supporters and those who don't support Donald Trump. We've got a lot of work to do, my friends, but I'll tell you, justice is exhausting, but it's also energizing. And we've got a lot of work ahead of us. But today is a good day for the American people. Please stay safe, and I'm sure we're going to have a lot to talk about in the upcoming days, weeks, and months. Thank you for watching these videos. As always, if you want to support our efforts, these all volunteer efforts, you can go to patreon.com. You can become a patron. And if you choose to do that, I will put some Team Justice stickers in the mail to you, together with a little note. And you can become a more formal part of our Team Justice efforts. And we have a lot brewing, a lot that we're going to try to accomplish in the coming months. So thank you, folks. I look forward to talking with you all again tomorrow.